As bushfires continue to burn across several states, the bushfire crisis is also showing up the best of humanity. There's been an influx of donations from here and around the world. The donations of cash and goods are helping organisations like Foodbank Australia do the heavy lifting to meet the unprecedented demand for emergency food relief. CEO of Foodbank Australia, Brianna Casey, joins us now. Brianna, thank you so much for coming in. What has the response been like to the bushfire crisis?
It's been absolutely overwhelming. I mean, first and foremost, we've been devastated to see such incredible losses across the community, in our wildlife, in regions. But conversely, we have seen the very best of Australian generosity. We've been inundated with offers and donations of food and groceries, cash donations. I think there's a real recognition within the Australian community. This is an unprecedented crisis and we need to do our very best to help families in crisis.
We're hearing mixed messages from authorities for people to stop giving food and goods and to give cash instead. For people who are wanting to do their bit for the bushfire crisis, what are you most in need of? Do you want cash or do you want goods?
It's actually both. Our absolute priority right now is cash. We are really fortunate at Foodbank that we are able to work with our wonderful farmers, our food and grocery manufacturers and our retailers to stretch every dollar further. So a donation of $1 at Foodbank gets us $6 worth of food. So it's a really positive way for people in the community to know that they are donating and maximising that impact. So cash is absolutely a priority, particularly because we are just in the first couple of days of this crisis in many parts of Australia. We know there were bushfires earlier in the season, but this last few days has been unprecedented. We want to make sure we can be here for the long haul, and we're going to need funds to be able to do that. On the food side of things, you're right, there have been very, very mixed messages about what's going on and what's needed. At Foodbank, we work in partnership with local authorities, local jurisdictions and the Defence Force as required to make sure that we're getting food and groceries into the right regions and getting the right products in there as well. What we don't need right now is people taking to the roads, clogging the roads and ending up in locations where there simply aren't enough volunteers, where there simply isn't storage, where there might not be power, there might not even be running water. We need to make sure that if people want to be incredibly generous, and they are, and we welcome that, please do it through Foodbank. We are making sure that we're working with local authorities to get the right food to the right people in the right time frames. We're guided by road closures, we're guided by safety, we're guided by need in the local community. So keep up the great work, but please do it through us so that we are not becoming a burden on these communities. They're going through enough.
And for people that would prefer to donate food to Foodbank, what would you like them to do with those goods?
What we want is for people to bring them to the Foodbank warehouse. We have Foodbank warehouses in every capital city across Australia. Every one of those warehouses is collecting donations from the public at the moment, and we have seen extraordinary contributions. I know our team in Foodbank Victoria was overwhelmed on the weekend. We saw 1.5 kilometre queues on all the feeder roads into their warehouse in Yarraville simply because people want to do the right thing. It's been really, really encouraging. We want people to check our website first, check for the list of most wanted items, and check for the items we don't need right now. We are very, very clearly working with our local communities to make sure that we're getting the products in that are shelf stable, that will last a long time, that can be easily transported, and most importantly, are going to have the biggest impact on those communities. So check our website, find our locations, follow us on socials, and make sure you're getting the right products in because they are so very needed.
And your services are being required. You've been called on all around the country. Tell us where you're most in need.
Oh my goodness, it has been a week. It's interesting. We've got the current obvious crisis that's going on in New South Wales. We are focusing our efforts on the south coast of New South Wales. Just this morning, another one of our trucks left the Foodbank New South Wales and ACT warehouse bound for Bega, Cobargo and that south coast region. We are aiming for the evacuation centre. We should be arriving any minute now in that region. This is on top of trucks that went to that region a couple of days ago. In Victoria, we are shipping out product like it's going out of fashion. We've got water, food, grocery items, sanitary items and pet food going into those communities. We're using air transportation where we can, where air quality allows it and vision isn't a problem for our choppers. We're using the Defence Force. We had a military convoy through on the weekend taking products, and we had another Foodbank Victoria truck leave the warehouse this morning bound for that East Gippsland region. We want to make sure those isolated communities have got support. We've got the food, we've got the water, we just need to get it in there. In South Australia, we were thrilled this morning to see our first Foodbank South Australia truck on a barge over to Kangaroo Island to assist those communities as well. We're still helping communities in Queensland with bushfires that happened before Christmas, let alone recovery phase from the North Queensland floods. We're also on cyclone watch in Western Australia and Northern Territory. So it's just been extraordinary. We're also helping out in Tasmania as well. It's just been a phenomenal relief effort. And I think what worries me is we are just at the start of the bushfire season. We have got a long summer ahead. We want to make sure that we can assist these communities not through the current crisis, not just through the current crisis, but ongoing. The recovery period is going to be lengthy and it's going to be in years, not months.
Well, thank goodness for Foodbank. You are doing extraordinary work in this country. Couldn't do without you at the moment. Brianna Casey, thank you so much.
Thank you.